after a relatively long mom and son Christmas trip excursion. It's finally time for the highlight of my day, aka the pump. The pump, the lift. I was about to say pumping iron, but I kind of already said pump once, so it's, you know what I'm saying, right? The gym trip. Always a good, positive blip on the daily radar. I'm in a little bit of a rush though. It's 7:54, and to my disgruntlement, Planet Fitness has made the executive decision to not be 24/7 in every location, but on the weekends and Fridays to close at 9. Ooh, not cool, but it's not that bad. So, 1 hour for arms. That sounds about right. That's pretty much right. I mean, it's not like there's a cut and dry rule, of course, but for any singular muscle group, so I'm talking, even if you're doing a push day, right? Chest first. How long does it take you to finish chest? And right, let's say you do a normal amount of sets, maybe 8, even 10 ish. Not saying that one is better than the other, just if you're doing hard sets, you only take a few minutes of rest in between and then you do another one. As long as there's no fluff, I'd say around 30, 45-ish minutes in, should be about done, right? Not to say, or not to bash anybody who's in there shorter than that, or anybody who's in there longer than that, but that's just kind of what I found to be about as much time as it takes. Now, of course, sometimes I'll take longer. I mean, if there's people in the gym who I know, then I'm going to be a little bit more prone to take my time purely due to, chatting in between sets. But that's not such a long chat session that I feel like I lose my pump. This is something which I feel a little bit hypocritical about, because when I'm lifting, I'll stop and talk to somebody I know or some of the boys, whatever. Have a little chit chat. You kind of do your set, and then maybe you walk to the other side of the gym, say a one-liner, and then turn back around to your bench, like stuff like that. But it's always very brief. I know I've got my own sets to do, and I'm not gonna. At least I'm gonna try not to let anything get in the way of that. But after my lift is done, and I'm pretty much let's just say free from my obligation to do my sets, then I'm chilling. My workout's over. I get to kind of hang out a little. So sometimes if I talk to somebody and they're a little bit, well, maybe I'm a little bit too distracting to them, sometimes I have to say, okay, do a set. Come on, man. Like, I don't know. I guess it's whatever. But for the most part, try not to let anybody distract you. You've got your normal rest time, and whatever you do in that rest period it's up to you, man. You could bust out a puzzle. You can just play on your phone. But once you're rested, that's your cue to turn that shit off. Play. I've been listening to this all day. Play till further notice on max volume, and then throw around 3 plates for as many reps as possible to failure. Right. So that's sort of my stance on the matter there. Yeah. Arms is going to be the same as normal. It almost feels like it's not worth getting into. Some push downs of a couple varieties, maybe some heavy sets. Maybe I'll try to jerry rig a plate onto the stack, or maybe I'll just do a lot of light squeezing sets. I think the most important thing at the end of the day is that your sets are difficult, and that for a fact, without delusion, that you really pushed yourself. So, I could go into the gym and I could only do like 30-pound single arm push downs and just really seriously squeeze it, right? And do 6 sets of that. I'd be satisfied with it. Same thing with curls. I could just do 30-pound concentration curls, bent over, just sit here, squeeze, right? And then be done. I wouldn't want all my lifts to be like that, because I think having a variation of really heavy sets and lighter squeezing sets is going to be good for you. Just stimulates you in all sorts of good ways and whatever. But it doesn't necessarily matter the exact balance. As long as it's relatively even, right? Just, do whatever feels good. Maybe if one day my elbows were a little bit extra tender, I'd be much less prone to try to go super heavy. I don't want to hurt myself. So I'll just do lighter sets like that and focus on squeezing. So that's it's kind of my stance on the matter when it comes to the weight. But that's all I got, man. Let's just get in there, get started quick. Considering I'm in a rush, or not, I mean, it's enough time for a good workout, but I would have I'd prefer a little more time. But since I really kind of would prefer to get right into it, then I'm a bit more likely to start off with a light squeezing movement for arms at least. Chest I always go heavy, back I always go heavy, but with arms, if I only have, let's just say 30 minutes for tries, I don't want to spend 10 of them warming up, going heavier and heavier and heavier until I can do as much weight as I can do for 15 or something on straight bar pushdowns. I got to kind of jump right into it. So I don't have to warm up as much and just jump straight to, 20-pound single arm extensions, squeeze it really hard, because then I can get straight into my working sets. But that first working set is also sort of a warm up, because then, right afterwards, I'm ready to push around a lot of weight. That's something which I've kind of been a little bit, I've sort of rethought my approach to some of these lifts a little bit, because for the most part, the last few years, in my mind, this is how I want the workout to look, or this is what I thought to myself. Like, I want that first set to be as much weight as possible. That first set is the craziest one, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm fresh. That's when I can throw around the most amount of weight, do the most amount of damage in a good way, not like a tendon off the bone kind of way. And then as I progress the lift, I should get weaker. So every set should have to get lighter and lighter from the beginning. But it starts off at the peak, which I don't think is a terrible workout. I mean, for chest, I still do like doing it like that. But for other body parts, sometimes I like starting off with lighter squeezing stuff. So looping back to what I was saying earlier, don't get too frustrated with like, okay, how do I rearrange my workout to hit everything? I mean, cut it back to the basics, man. Go in the gym, do your sets hard, of whatever kind, change it up, eat your food, get some sleep. That's it. You'll kind of almost come up with a style on your own, just because you'll realize what you like and what you don't like. So, I can feel the caffeine hit me. I'm starting to get extra rambly. Let's just cut to that first working set for tries. If I had to guess, I'm thinking cross body extensions, but who knows? It could really be anything. So let's find out. Running out of time to chit chat. Let's just get these started. Moderate weight, very focused on squeezing. Okay. Ooh. One more. Okay. Um, I feel like I'm just recreating the last tricep workout. Let's go do some machine dips. Maybe not learned, but sort of like realized in the last tricep lift for the last arm day was I think I've been neglecting the squeezing portion of machine dips. Like, I think when I think of these, I want to do a set with like a lot of weight, like throw the sack around and have a lot of tension on my triceps. But I tried doing much more slow squeezing reps on the last tricep day. I fucking loved it. Enough where I think I got to rethink my whole execution of these. So I'm really going to focus on a 1 second squeeze in the bottom. Maybe not a whole second, but you get what I'm saying. No. 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 Okay. One more. I think, I don't know, I've been on a little bit of a kick of doing like 2 sets per movement and then moving on. Not for any specific reason, I just kind of, I don't know, for some reason I just feel like it. But one more here. No. Okay. Ah. All right. Well, I guess that thing I said about 2 sets earlier was nonsense. Let's do one more. You know, for whatever reason, some days, some movements just feel good. So if I did that 1 set of cross-body extensions like this, and it felt crazy good, I wouldn't mind staying there for the whole lift. Now it didn't, so that's why I'm adding some other stuff. No. Okay. Okay. Let's do straight bar? To be determined. All right, so I don't really feel like trying to throw a 45 on the stack because it's kind of a hassle. I have to like take a pin from the lat pull down. It's no fun. So instead of just, use subpar weight and just do the stack, I'll pre-exhaust with some single arm extensions. 5 reps, one arm, 5 left, 5, 1, back and forth, and then come do a set of normal pushdowns. So by pre-exhausting myself over here, not only getting the benefits of whatever work I'm doing with these sets, squeezing, stretch, whatever, but it'll make this weight, enough that at 10 reps, I'm gonna be struggling. Okay. That was okay. I don't want to do that again though. I'm just going to change it up to a different handle for normal pushdowns. And I think just one more set and tries are cooked. So one thing, I mean, the non-lifter wouldn't really understand this. Your strength on some of these movements, at least with these pushdowns, it's affected by the handles that you're using, you know? Like if I sit here with the straight bar, that's probably the strongest push down which I can do. But if you give me a rope or these two D handles like this, holding them backwards, I'm much weaker. And that's just, I don't know, something to do with my hand placements, whatever. So, you know, if I want the weight to feel heavier, or if you're suffering from success and you only have so much weight at your disposal, right, maybe bias the handles, which I guess they don't make the weight any heavier, obviously, but make it feel heavier. So I think one of these, maybe two, then we can check the tricep pump. No. Okay. Drop set. Okay. Okay. Try's done. Actually, I don't have time for a tricep dedicated pump check. Let's just move on to curls. All right. Thinking machine preachers, single arm, perfect starter. With any single-sided movement, I'd say it's in your best interest to do one side. Wait, yeah, obviously you're doing one side at a time. No. To do your weaker side first. If I can only get 15 on my right side, because my right bicep's a little bit weaker, a little smaller, then if I hit 15 reps on my left, but maybe I could get 18, I'm still gonna stop. That's I'd say that's a good approach to minimizing balancing out imbalances. But I think I'm going to cut the commentary short on these next sets of buys. We'll just cut through them and then we can jump to the pump check. The last thing I want to do is have the workout cut short. One more here. Whew. Okay. Let's do some dumbbell curls. Okay, I'm thinking let's do a rest pause. Maybe not a traditional rest pause, but basic premises. Sometimes I like doing these single-sided movements, but I do double-sided too. So like 5 reps on the right arm, and then give my right arm a break while I do 5 on the left. So I don't know, maybe just a little bit of a longer fatigue path. Because you got to think, if I sit here and I do straight up curls on one arm, then, I'm getting more fatigue, more fatigue, more fatigue, more fatigue like this. But if I do these kind of rest pauses, then it's almost like fatigue during the set, small amount of recovery during those like 5 other reps while it's resting. Then fatigue, then fatigue, then fatigue, which it's not like that's scientifically proven or that's what I'm thinking about. I just like it. So a little heavier, a little lighter. I like that. Not enough to do one more. Let's go do some dumbbell curls. And we're close to done. All right. Last one. 40s to, 40s to as close to death as possible. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go check the pump. It's going to be a quick pump check because they want us out of here. It's already fucking empty. Actually, should I zoom in a little further? Yeah, there we go. Okay. The rare outdoor pump check. I guess this is really just for you. I can't see myself. There's no mirror. So what do we think? Probably right here. They really wanted to kick us out. Which, I mean, if your shift ends at 9 and people are keeping you at your job, not ideal. But also not ideal for me, because now I don't get to see how I'm looking until I look over this clip. But who cares? Let's run through a couple standards. What do we think? Pumped? Close to pumped? Oh my goodness. We got to be looking moderately freaky for sure. Oh. All right. Front lat spread. Then we can get in the car and get out of here. Oh. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's discuss further in the vehicle. Let's discuss further in the SS Camry. That is one thing I do prefer during the pose down. I want a mirror in front of me. I want a big old mirror so I can, just so I can freaking see what I look like, So, let's get out of here. Lift done, arms pumped. My right one still feels a little funky. I'm not sure what's wrong with me either. I don't really think that it's like a muscular pull. It's kind of just like a. So let me just break it down for the sake of, if anybody has gone through the exact same situation and has, a perfect fix. But basically, it's this arm, but you get the gist. So right here, if my bicep is like a big rectangle, it's up here, kind of on this top right quadrant, real deep. And it's like something about my pronation. I don't know. I do not know. I'm not sure what I should do to go about fixing it. I've had similar kind of aches like that, like in my forearm, to the point where like, curls and certain kinds of pressing would really flare it up. And I fixed that one just by like rubbing it to shit with like with a lacrosse ball, or like a massage gun would probably be good, but I just used like a dowel, like a round dowel, and just sat there and just like fucking broke apart whatever fibers were doing something bad inside of there. But I don't know, maybe that would be good for the right one. Maybe I'm just overthinking it and I just gotta give myself some deep tissue work, which, oh man, that is something I gotta look into for just the overall build. The videos where like the PT guy has like looks like a fucking butter knife, and they just sit there and they like really get into the fascia of like your lats. And I think part of the reason why I haven't done that yet is because it looks very uncomfortable. Like if you've ever seen those videos of like deep tissue bodybuilding massage therapy kind of, well, therapy sessions where they're really getting in deep to all your, looks like hell. But maybe that's one of the situations where it's like, what you want in terms of benefit is hidden underneath what you don't want in terms of, upfront cost / commitment. I mean, in a bodybuilding context, there's some gains to be had. Maybe my lats are really knotted up, so if somebody gets in there with their full body weight on like a thumb level of area, just breaking everything apart, I'll have a wider lat spread, be able to get a better stretch on my pull downs, and then consequently probably get more blood in them during my sets, get a gnarlier pump sooner. Not that that's the whole point of the lift, like I want to stimulate the muscle with weight too, but you get what I'm saying. Maybe I should roll out. Maybe that would be a good little beginner step before jumping straight into like, having a trained professional give me the worst pain of my life. Because when it comes to rolling out and stretching, I don't. Shit, it has been a long time. Actually, no. For whatever reason, whenever I diet down, I like stretching, just because I kind of have less to do during the day. Because when I'm bulking up, I'm eating a lot of food kind of all the time. It's like it's a chore, right? It's something that you actually kind of have to constantly be not just thinking about, but actually acting upon. Having a plate of food in front of you as often as possible, really. So whenever I diet down, I feel like I do extra stuff like that. Get my hamstrings nice and loose. Because when I really stretch, if I stretch for a couple weeks, the straddle, where you sit down, spread your legs at 90, and then you try to like touch your face to the ground. I can get that low. I think I'm just being lazy. I should start stretching up. Just being mobile, you're better off for sure. So I'm not muscle bound. I wouldn't say I'm absolutely muscle bound yet. I mean, I know for a fact I can hop on a diving board and bust out a couple flips easy, but I'm definitely tight. And when I'm bulking up especially, I get even tighter, just because, well, I kind of feel like being full of carbs, being full of food, having all my muscles nice and, I mean, I don't want to say full 3 times in the same sentence, but, nice and full, they get kind of, tenser. So really, I think I've been going about it the wrong way. I should stretch more when I'm bulking up. You get it. But, eh, I don't know if it's absolutely necessary. But yeah, it's probably good for you, Maybe that's something I need to look into more. But other than that, yeah, the routine has just been get up, drive to the gym, cardio, do the sauna sometimes, just for fun, 15 minutes, get out, dry off a little bit, come back, take a nap, more food, chill, do whatever I have to do that day, and then we're here for the lift. Go home, eat some more food, and repeat the process. I think I said this exact sort of speech in the last video, but I'll just say it again, whatever. Even though the days are repetitive, even though every day I'm really just doing the same thing as the last day and the one before that and hundreds before that. If actually I'm beyond 1,000. I'm like 5-ish years, a little more, maybe 5 and a quarter. Let's just say 5 years lifting. That's what? Let's do some quick math. 1,800 days. We're coming up on 2,000 with minimal, well, actually with no periods of time off, apart from the occasional rest days for, situations like sickness or injury or whatever, right? It's the same thing day after day, but it's all kind of working towards a greater end goal. And I feel kind of funky when I say that, because I don't necessarily have like a specific end goal. Like, I'm not doing this because I want to like win a bodybuilding show, or like because I don't, that's kind of not the point for me. I just sort of like it. So even though there's not a specific like peak, which I'm like, okay, that's what once I get there, I'll be happy. Once I get there, I'll be satisfied. It's not really like that. I think in a way I'm kind of spoiled, because my goal is kind of just to go through the process of improvement. So it's almost like it doesn't matter what my trajectory is, because as long as I'm on even just a slight positive week after week, month after month, then I'm perfectly satisfied, So so if your thing is like, I want to be this, I want to beat so and so, not going to knock you. I mean, a lot of people have, or a lot of total freaks have had that kind of mentality. Like, as soon as I saw, I mean, I'm sure any actual Olympia dudes, when they were starting out, they're like, I'm gonna be Mr. Olympia one day, or anything, any fucking LeBron James, or any total freak in any aspect of life or aspect of competition. Let's say, they kind of aimed high like that, but it's kind of, I feel like it's a very contradictory situation, because I don't think you should be trying to compare yourself to everybody around you all the time about what you're into, but that's also kind of part of the process. In a way, you are in competition with everybody else. So it's almost like, if you want to get ahead, you have to only try to, beat yourself such that you progress. I don't know if you really catch what I'm saying there, but whatever. What freaking ever. Go hard, do what you want, get motivated. And I'm sure that if you can realize that you're on track to something, then you're not going to have a problem doing the same thing over and over again. Do you think, I'm just saying them because they come to mind, but any kind of fucking NBA player, do you think they get tired of jumping onto like a basketball court and literally just sitting there for 4 hours straight shooting? Do you think they get tired of that? No, not even a little bit, because in their mind, they know that is going to result in a positive improvement, which, is a future situation which they want to create. They want to manifest it, right? So they have that belief system, so it doesn't really matter what they have to do it. They can just kind of, get up and get out there. Take with that what you will. It's getting a little bit rambly. Whatever. Maybe I'm low on carbs. I gotta get home and eat some treats. Have some shrimp scampi that my dad made. That'll be perfect. But overall, conclusive statement: go hard. Don't feel like what you're doing is boring. Right? Every day you're just hitting a little chunk off of that piece of marble, and you're getting closer to that end sculpture, which you may not know what it looks like yet, but you're making moves at least. So yeah, take with that what you will. I'm out. Legs tomorrow. I better get a good night's rest.